The digital architecture of the modern world rests upon a foundation of sedimented data. Every interaction, transaction, and keystroke generates a digital trace, accumulating at a velocity that defies human comprehension. The fundamental challenge of the 21st century is not merely collecting this information, but retrieving it with speed and precision. Buried beneath the user interfaces of countless applications, serving as the silent engine of discovery, lies a piece of software known as Elasticsearch. It is an open-source search and analytics engine, a mechanism designed to sift through petabytes of unstructured data and return relevant results in milliseconds. It is the technology that allows a developer at GitHub to find a specific line of code among billions, or a Wikipedia user to locate an obscure historical fact instantly. Its origins, however, are far removed from corporate server farms, beginning instead with a domestic necessity in London around the year 2004. Shay Banon, an Israeli software engineer living in London, observed his wife's struggle to organize her growing collection of recipes as she studied at Le Cordon Bleu. The existing methods were cumbersome, unable to handle the unstructured nature of culinary notes. Banon sought to build a solution, a digital cookbook that could be searched intuitively. He began working with Apache Lucene, a powerful pre-existing search library written in Java by Doug Cutting some years prior. Lucene was brilliant but raw. It was a dense toolkit requiring significant expertise to implement effectively. Banon's initial attempt to wrap Lucene in a more usable interface was called Compass. While useful, Compass ultimately revealed the limitations of a centralized approach in an increasingly decentralized computing environment. As data volumes grew, a single machine, no matter how powerful, could not cope with the indexing load. The realization forced Banon to abandon Compass and re-architect the entire concept from the ground up. The result developed after Banon relocated to Amsterdam. He released the first version of Elasticsearch in February of 2010. The fundamental innovation was not the search capability itself, which still relied on the robust Lucene library beneath the surface, but rather the distribution model. If Lucene was a highly trained archivist capable of indexing any book, Elasticsearch was the architecture of a vast, sprawling library system that coordinated thousands of these archivists across many different buildings. It was designed to be distributed by default. It broke down indices into smaller units called shards, which could be spread across multiple servers or nodes. This allowed the system to scale horizontally. As data grew, one simply added more cheap servers rather than upgrading a single expensive one. It communicated using RESTful APIs and stored data as JSON documents. This was a crucial departure from the rigid rows and columns of traditional relational databases like Oracle or MySQL. In Elasticsearch, data did not need a predefined schema. You could throw a document at it, and it would figure out how to index it, making it uniquely suited for the messy, unpredictable reality of modern web data. The adoption of Elasticsearch was quiet, but relentless. It infiltrated the infrastructure of major institutions not with fanfare, but with the undeniable utility of solving a desperate problem: the inability to locate information within one's own digital walls. By 2012, Banon, along with Steven Schurman, Uri Bones, and Simon Wilnauer, founded a company to support the open-source project, eventually known as ElasticNV. The timing coincided with the explosion of big data. Companies found themselves drowning in logs, the automated diaries of servers recording errors, user access, and system health. Elasticsearch, when combined with two sister projects, Logstash for collecting data and Kibana for visualizing it, formed the ELK stack. This trio became the industry standard for operational visibility. Suddenly, an engineer at Netflix could monitor streaming performance across millions of devices in near real time, or sysadmins at CERN could analyze the staggering output of data from the Large Hadron Collider, hunting for anomalies in particle physics. The financial implications of this utility were immense. Elastic NV went public on the New York Stock Exchange in October of 2018. On its first day of trading, its shares nearly doubled, valuing the company at almost $5 billion. The technology had become critical infrastructure for entities ranging from Uber, using it to match riders with drivers and analyze traffic patterns, to Tinder, utilizing geospatial search to connect users. It was deployed by Goldman Sachs to traverse vast repositories of financial documents, and by the Guardian newspaper to provide instant access to decades of journalism. The open source model, allowing anyone to download and use the core software for free, fueled its ubiquity, creating a massive community of developers who contributed code, wrote plugins, and evangelized its use. Yet, the open source ethos that powered its rise eventually collided with the hard realities of corporate competition. The primary source of tension emerged between Elastic NV and Amazon Web Services, or AWS. AWS, the dominant cloud computing provider, began offering Elasticsearch as a managed service, charging their customers to run the free software produced by Banon's company. While legal under the Apache 2 license that governed the software at the time, Elastic viewed this as a trillion-dollar corporation strip-mining the intellectual property of a smaller entity without contributing sufficiently back to the core project. The friction was palpable in technical forums and boardrooms alike. Amazon argued they were simply providing a service their customers demanded, using open tools as they were intended. Elastic argued that Amazon was aggressively undermining their business model by rebranding their work. This simmering conflict erupted into a significant controversy in early 2021. Elastic NV announced a change in their licensing model, moving future versions of Elasticsearch away from the permissive Apache 2 license to the server-side public license, or SSPL. The SSPL is not recognized as an open-source license by the Open Source Initiative. It includes clauses specifically designed to prevent cloud providers from offering the software as a service without releasing their own surrounding infrastructure code. The move drew sharp criticism from purists in the open-source community who felt betrayed by the shift away from absolute freedom. In response, AWS forked the last open version of the code, creating their own project called OpenSearch, further splintering the ecosystem. The schism highlighted a fundamental flaw in the economics of open-source software in the cloud era. How does the creator sustain a business when a larger platform can monetize their creation more effectively? Beyond the corporate maneuvering, the impact of Elasticsearch on society has been profound and often unseen. Its ability to rapidly handle geospatial data, text, and structured numbers simultaneously has made it a tool for both surveillance and security. Law enforcement agencies utilize it to aggregate and search vast quantities of data from the dark web, assisting in investigations into human trafficking and cybercrime across international borders. Cybersecurity firms deploy it as the backbone of security information and event management, or SIEM, systems, ingesting terabytes of network traffic logs daily to detect patterns indicating a breach. The speed at which it returns query results means the difference between stopping an attack in progress and discovering it weeks after the damage is done. Comparing Elasticsearch to its contemporaries reveals its specific niche. It is often contrasted with Solr, another search platform built on Lucene. While Solr is robust and mature, historically favored by enterprise organizations with deep Java expertise, Elasticsearch gained favor for its ease of use, modern API capabilities, and dynamic clustering that appealed to the newer generation of DevOps engineers. Conversely, while it can store data, it is rarely used as a primary system of record like a PostgreSQL database. It is eventually consistent, meaning there can be a slight delay between when data is indexed and when it becomes searchable, a trait unacceptable for transactional systems handling bank balances, but perfectly acceptable for analyzing website access logs. The story of Elasticsearch is a testament to the power of abstraction. It took a complex academic problem information retrieval and wrapped it in layers of usability until it could be deployed by a junior developer in an afternoon. It transformed search from a static feature into a dynamic, exploratory process. The tension in its narrative does not come from dramatic corporate espionage, but from the sheer, overwhelming weight of the data it manages and the intense economic pressure of controlling the mechanisms of discovery. In a world where data generation has far outpaced human cognitive capacity, technologies like Elasticsearch are not mere conveniences. They are the necessary prosthetics for collective intelligence, maintaining a tenuous order against the rising tide of digital entropy.